Sports Goombas Show. Well, I am Cash the King. I got my chef to left, Brendan B. Evidently, the first half hour, we weren't even on the air. We
Just
couldn't tell.
Talking to ourselves.
What a good show we had going there, too. Unbelievable.
Do you guys enjoy it?
I enjoyed it.
We had a great show. I wish you guys could listen to it, too.
Absolutely.
We should fist pump.
Fist
You
pump.
only heard that part of the first
What's it,
show.
9:41? Oh, my God. Some classic shit we were talking about. All right, this is Sports Goombas radio webcast show. Call what you want. We're here live in the 515 studios in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, powered by the sportsgoombas.com, which is 24 hours of good sports internet. All right, let's get right to where we were when we realized we weren't on air because no one's calling. Who's calling the show?
Let's just recap.
Recap.
Eagles lost.
Eagles lost. 267-563-2893. 267-563-2893.
Already a better
Already
show.
better.
He's got the right phone number.
Got the phone number better because I was fumbling that in the beginning. It was all a fumble show. I hope we're broadcasting now. Somebody call us in and tell us we're broadcasting, for Christ's sake. All right, we talked about the Chip and the boys getting beat up by a better team. We went through that. The secondary stinks. Sanchez needs to hit the open receiver, and that's our big problem. I don't want to hear about we need Deshaun Jackson crap. We had open receivers all day yesterday, which would have made that a completely different game.
We do need better receivers, but Deshaun's not the answer. He's not coming back. No. He's not coming back through that door.
Yeah, in this city's good at that. We're good at talking about players. T.O. left with the same thing. I mean, even when Donovan McShit left, he came, who knew what was going to happen? McFraud, right. So we got into talking about that, and the secondary, we know what it is. They're too soft, and as compared to the Seattle secondary, who, like I said, doesn't even let you get that 10th yard. They'll give you 9. They're not going to give you 10, and that's what makes that defense so good, and the ability to stop everybody and anybody they play against.
Yeah,
for the most part. And you have a quarterback like Sanchez, you're not going to, you're not catching up. You know what I mean? It's not the type of quarterback that's going to bring you back from 14 down. Just doesn't have it.
Not against a good team.
He doesn't have. Yeah, right. And that's all we're talking about is good teams. I don't care about these Tennessees that come in here, Jacksonville.
Exactly.
Like
and I will bring this up again.
And
how many good teams have they played this year? And one.
Dude, you have
one.
You have to still technically count the Cowboys as a team.
Only the Colts
and Cowboys.
Here's the thing. B, when you have quarterbacks, any team that has a quarterback that can play in this league, that can play, even Eli Manning can have good games. He's capable of beating anybody at any time.
But he has a proven track record of that.
Well,
then I look at the season here, and then I see people complain about they should have won and they should go further. And I look at it, and I look at their record, and I say, "There's nothing in the season's record that tells me I don't give a shit which quarterback is there of that they're better than they really are. They should have won that game yesterday.
They're about what they are. They're not better than they are. They're not worse than they are. They're about what they are. And there's still nothing wrong with 9-4.
And 9-4 is 9-4. Okay, it's a good record. It's a stat. Okay,
right.
But it doesn't tell the whole story.
That's the stat you need to get in the playoffs. That's the one stat you need.
But it doesn't tell the whole story. Okay, you're not going to try to tell me that Dallas is a good football team. You can't tell me that Dallas is a good football team.
But you can't argue and say they haven't beaten anybody good when non-Eagles, the Cowboys are 9-3. They're 9-3 against the rest of the league. They've won 3 times as many times as they lost. And the Eagles went to their home and beat them badly. You can't just say that's nothing. That's still even though we know the Cowboys suck. We know what they do. But
that's one of those games where I looked at it. And remember, I said last week, okay, the test for me isn't Dallas because we always get fired up for Dallas. We always play good. Even when the Eagles stunk with Buddy Ryan, we still played good against Dallas. And I loved in that game that they showed the old Zendaya shit and all that. But that was that Buddy Ryan and all that, or Wilford Brimley. I couldn't tell whether it was a commercial for oats, diabetes, or whatever. But I'm looking at it, and I'm sitting there going, okay, they get up for big games like that. Here's a game they need to get. They need to come up big.
It was a statement game.
It was a statement, and they came out flat.
They didn't pass the test.
And I still say this. He says they miss open plays all day, and it would have been a different story. I beg to differ because I don't see them. I can't count. I can count on one hand how many times they passed midfield, and I can only count like 2 times when they were past midfield when the ball wasn't given to them past midfield.
Okay.
So the defense didn't stutter, it didn't slip, it was non-existent.
Okay. All that said, in this football game, in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, still in the football game.
It was still the game they could have won.
Yeah, they made mistakes. They missed open receivers. So all in all, they got beat by a good defense that slowed down the Chip Kelly offense that runs at 30 miles and at 30 points a game down to 14, which doesn't mean Chip can't win a game with 21 points. Okay, they got stopped. I mean, everybody said how great Seattle is and what they did to Chip Kelly's offense. Chip Kelly's offense made mistakes. It wasn't that the offense is incapable of doing it. The quarterback didn't see open receivers, didn't move the ball right. They didn't capitalize on situations that they could have. That's why they lost the game. They didn't lose the game because they got the shit beat out of them. They really didn't.
So it's Sanchez's fault.
Well, quite frankly, if you look back at the tape,
it was a team effort.
No, because
it was a team effort in this loss.
He just said that's what he just said. It's Sanchez's fault because if I'm gonna listen to what he said that team had opportunity. It wasn't the play calling. Wasn't
that's how you're reading.
It's the quarterback missed his opportunities.
That's how you're reading. I didn't say Sanchez's fault. The opportunities are there for him to make plays. That's why he's the quarterback of his team. If he doesn't make plays, they don't win. That's it. That's the way this team's set up. The offense has to win the football game. This team, the defense, doesn't win football games. It keeps you in the game so your offense can play. That's it. And the defense was on the field too long because they couldn't convert third downs. And some of those third downs, he didn't see the right receivers. He doesn't have the capability to see the field like most good quarterbacks do. Sanchez is what he is. I don't know if he's capable of going to his third read. I don't think he is.
Okay. And now you have to think this because it's 2 weeks now because it's already been stated that Foles is going to get evaluated after the game.
Oh, damn right he is.
Okay. So what happens?
What happens? It's very simple. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You go back to Foles and you get Sproles back in the action too. You bring him back in.
I didn't hear his name hardly called at all.
Because they shut him down.
Chip doesn't give him the ball.
Right. He's not.
I think it's still Sanchez's job.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean,
no.
Even if they did, they're saying that
he needs an arm. They need an
the
arm.
Foles feels like he's 100%. He feels fine, but
he's not going to play the Dallas game. That's out. But if you can keep him, I mean, we're going back and forth here. But if you think about it, what you need is a mind and an arm here. That's what you need. You need someone who can think out and think at the line of scrimmage. Several times, I don't think Sanchez saw the defense, what was set up out there for him. I think he got caught up a couple times, not understanding what he was looking out there because you can see his choices of his pass.
You checked down too many.
Well, even when his
head. It's like on a swivel.
No, that's not what I mean. He threw balls to receivers that were covered by three guys. He's not good enough to do that. He can't do that. That's not his game.
I understand that. Yeah.
All right, but what if he goes out against Dallas and has a game like he had last time?
Dallas stinks. Dallas is a joke, man. They're a joke. No, let me tell you something.
Oh my God, we agree on something.
Dallas is a joke. It's December. Forget about them. They're going to lose here. Like, they couldn't win there. They're not going to win here. And it's not going to be one of that ebb and flow bullshit. The team stinks. The owner stinks. Quarterback stinks. He's got good stats though, but he stinks.
The quarterback?
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about him.
Yeah. When we were off the air before, I wanted to go into it. Like I said, we were going to come back from commercial and talk about the BFL. When we back in the old days, we used to call it the Brett Favre Football League, called the BFL. Now I'm going to call it, and this is something that it's the bitchin' football league. Every play, not every other play, every single play, good, bad, whatever, even the offsides or the false start. Somebody's bitching to a referee over players. It's nonstop. Every play is delayed by screaming at each other. It's like you never see in other sports. They make plays, and in baseball, a guy gets a base hit. No one bitches. They get on first. Basketball, coaches are running out. I mean, the coach for Seattle, what's his name? I can't stand him.
Pat Carroll.
Pete Carroll. I mean, this guy's chomping away. He's annoying looking. I know he's
Carroll.
not.
I love Carroll.
He's not. I know. You know what? When he talks on the podium and acts like civil, he's okay. But when he's on that side, chewing away, running up and down.
He's energetic. You want that in a coach.
Listen, I'm not talking about what I want. I'm talking about what annoys me about him. He annoyed me back there when he was in college. Then he coached the Jets for a little bit. It was even worse.
Well, here, let me
Did
just
cheat
put
in
this.
college? That way he got tossed down. He's a freaking cheater.
That's why he left.
He's a freaking cheater. That's what he is. That's why I don't like him.
Look, well, that's probably it. But let's leave it like this. Right now, if you look back to the 70s and the 80s when we were watching football, it was a couple cameras. It wasn't like it is now. And to hear all the bitching and moaning, it was going on. But you didn't see it unless you watched that Saturday afternoon special NFL films, and you had Harry Kalas narrating. And then you say, come on, ref, you saw it. And you would hear, like, what's his name? Madden. And you would hear, I'm trying to think of all the old coaches. Ditko was very verbal. It's just, they knew they didn't want to go anywhere near those coaches during a game. Because, look, you have those type, I mean, let's face it. We had a lot, I mean, growing up, there was a lot more type 1, type A, or bold personalities, you know, as coaches. And they were top dogs. That was it. If you don't like it, get the hell out.
You can't do these days.
You can't, and that's not what it is anymore. It doesn't. You don't get that kind of. It worked in the 70s and the 80s. You don't have that anymore. So now the NFL is 50 cameras, and you can say a lot more things on network TV that you couldn't say in the 70s and the 80s. Okay,
Sky.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
It's everywhere. So the cameras, they're miking up the umpires, the players. Everybody's got a freaking mic. So they're obviously not concerned. What was the other thing? Like F-bomb? Brady was F-bomb. So
he always does.
Yeah, exactly. And people
Brady's
were getting
intense.
upset at, like, hey, that's what I want. I want that in my player.
Well, okay, well, you talk about that, and you talk about the the eye in the sky and things like that, and cameras being on everything, which has a lot to do with the privacy of a player, even when he's on the sidelines. You can't. God forbid he picks his nose,
scratches his balls,
whatever. You can't do shit
pick
anymore.
a wedgie.
Do you see Travis Kelce?
What did he do?
With for the Chiefs? Like, it was last week, not this week. Ref's about to call a penalty. He's walking by the camera. You see him do big jerk off.
Yeah.
Right on national TV.
Yeah, and that's
he got in trouble for that, right?
Did he?
Yeah, I think
I didn't follow up on it. I saw. I laughed.
But you can't. That's emotional stuff. And that's the thing. Remember, it's
I understand what you're saying. With that's just like the emotion of like you're into it. But I know what you're saying with like just every play. You're either being held, or it's pass interference, or it's just like
it's
pushed
a different sport.
I can't watch these games with the flag. It's like every great play you see, you're looking for it to come back. You say the first. I'm not looking at the player. I'm just looking for the yellow flag.
The corner of the
everybody
TV.
And everybody's got this down. This whole thing is whatever. Everybody's everyone on the field's going
every
like this.
Every incomplete pass. Pass interference.
Every play. Yeah.
I would have called that pass interference.
Yeah. And does it weigh on the referees? Sometimes it does. I mean, they're human beings. They see it. Maybe they saw it. They weren't sure, but the fans are screaming, "No, they must have been right." And then we get back to that play in New England. New England was New England, San Diego.
Yes.
Thank God we were off the air during that conversation. We're like idiots.
Because I think once or twice we said New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because we were both thinking.
Listen, I want to rehash our mistake.
We got it right the first time.
So a game like that where a pass is thrown and the defensive back makes an unbelievable hit, jars the ball in midair, gets picked off, run back for a touchdown, and they throw a flag because the hit was too hard. They said it was helmet to helmet, but the replay showed it wasn't helmet to helmet. Well, use your goddamn video to make the right call on that because you just changed the whole outcome of a football game because you thought you saw
that's
something.
Some things you can't challenge it. You can't
it's got to be worked on. It's got to be changed. The whole deal.
What is the reason for that not be able to be challenged? It's a turnover. It should have been, right?
No, all turnovers aren't reviewed. No, they're not. No. They are reviewed, but they're not. But the hit is not reviewed.
The hit's before any turnover.
So let me get this right. A ground can't cause a fumble, correct?
Yeah.
So if they review it and see that the ground caused a fumble, it's an overturn.
Right.
But if they show that that hit wasn't helmet to helmet that caused a turnover, that can't be overturned
right.
either.
Yeah, because
it's just another piece of equipment to me.
No. What you're talking about is the ground. The reason the ground can't cause a fumble because back in the late '80s they decided that the AstroTurfs were so damn hard, players were going down, the ball was jarred loose. Before then, ground caused a fumble. They changed the rule for the fumble because of the turf and what was made. They went back to grass, and they should have gone back.
I understand that, but that's what my point being. It's just another piece of equipment.
Yeah,
it's another piece of the puzzle.
But that's
a turf or a shoulder or a legal hit. Why can't that? If you're my point being not the actual action. My point being, if you can look at that and see that changed the outcome of a game, So why can't you look at a hit?
You can. They just have to change the rule. What they're going to have to do, and because the helmet to helmet is it's so it's subjected to how fast you saw the play, who saw the play, how many eyes saw the play. So what you have to do is you have to make it when you make it helmet to helmet illegal hit. That call has to be reviewed. They have to go upstairs. Just lengthen the game a little more. Give somebody a commercial break on that. You want to buy commercial time for NFL? Buy the helmet to helmet penalties. This way you get a good 3 minutes of commercial time, and we can throw the flag, and games can go 5 hours now. It's ridiculous already. And how about last night? I'm watching the early game, and they go right to the Eagles game. They just cut. It was like Indianapolis is on the 2-yard line. I need to go to 2-point conversion to get me over the goddamn total, which I didn't get because I didn't get the conversion. But I would have liked to see it anyway. Get the joy. If I'm going to lose a football game, I want the joy of seeing it. That's why I bet the damn game, right? Anyway, they go right to the Eagles game. No announcement, no nothing. It was like off the air, and all of a sudden it's the kickoff. I know they got contracts and stuff like that, but tell us you're going. Once again, what's more important is get to the money side of everything that's going on. Advertisers are in. You got to get the game over there. But once again, back to whatever the hell I was talking about here.
The bitch league.
The bitch league, yeah, the BFL. I mean, and Chip Kelly did his share of bitching yesterday too, and they can't wait to show that because pretty much Kelly doesn't bitch on the sideline. We haven't seen it. And in a losing effort, I'm sure that, Fox, here we go. It's the perfect time to get Chip Kelly while he's yelling and screaming. We don't like the Eagles anyway. And maybe we can do something somehow to get Dallas to win that game next week. And Jerry can have his playoff game or something, that he hasn't had since he built that spaceship there in Texas. So that's what that's all about. And don't you think for 1 second the NFL is jerking about this game next Sunday?
Yeah, they should be.
They were like, it's
a big game.
Yeah, they had a big game with Seattle and Philly 4 o'clock. Next week they got Dallas and Philly again for a playoff spot, most likely. But
division.
Yeah, but remember, Dallas got to play the Colts.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dallas could beat the Eagles next week. Doesn't mean they're out of it. It's and what's odd about this is that the possibility is that the Eagles may not make the playoffs. And then a 5-11 team down.
Watching this game here, I mean, Atlanta is the division leaders now, but that's a loss. So what's 5-8 now?
You're seeing it's 31 points. Damn, I should have been on the totals on this. And they just blocked the field goal for the hell of it. So Aaron Rodgers is on full. He's on full tilt right now. He's to me, they're talking about MVPs of this league and JJ Watts. No. No, because without Aaron Rodgers,
they have a defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
JJ can have that.
Yeah, they can have that.
This is MVP. Yeah. That's Aaron Rodgers.
He's Aaron Rodgers. You take him off that Packer team, and they're nothing.
We saw what happened.
Yeah, we saw what happened. Right. He is just as valuable as Manning was that year. He didn't play in Indianapolis. Packers might not win one football game without Aaron Rodgers back, which is amazing because I've always talked about it. The certain players in this league, certain quarterbacks, no matter where they're at, if they're healthy and playing, that team is now eligible for the Super Bowl.
You could put Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Throw them on the Jags, they're probably going to be a playoff team. They're probably going to be a playoff team.
Yep, because you know what? And you just think about it, except for Jordy Nelson is who
he's great.
You're talking about Jordy Nelson, Little Mike Primo. All right,
I got Jordy in my team.
We were in a draft 3 years ago. He says pick Jordy Nelson. He's a stud. I said Jordy. Who is that guy? It's some kosher guy from Northeast Philadelphia. He goes, no man, this guy's going to be a stud. I was like, how do you know? Don't believe me. And look what happened to him.
I love Jordy.
Yeah, see, the Packers. Aaron Rodgers got some players on that team.
He does. He has good weapons.
And on the other side, you go to
which makes it that much more dangerous. You have a star with the weapons.
And their defense is playing well too. They started off giving up points in the beginning of the year, but the Packers. That's the team, man. I think they're.
Well, I think the best thing that could have happened for us the first half of the show going off the air was when he said the Seahawks are the team to beat and they're going to the Super Bowl. I thought that was laughable.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think
that was funny. That was really funny.
You made him laugh.
Yeah, you made me laugh. Like
it's not like it's a terrible choice. It's not like he said Atlanta Falcons are going.
You could put
Cardinals. If the Cardinals shit the bed, they win the division.
Well, yeah, they're going to shit the bed the first round. I don't know how they're doing it.
No one is going to Green Bay in December or January, whatever it is, and beating Green Bay. It's just not going to happen.
That's we talked about when the Eagles went down there and got destroyed. We had that conversation stating that anybody going into Green Bay anytime when this team is even mediocre has trouble beating them there. Now that they're good, playing well, and their quarterback is guy's better than Favre. I take Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre any day.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got a feeling Aaron Rodgers will be around here for a while. He looks healthy. He's got one Super Bowl under his.
So after this, Green Bay's 10-4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they went out, and what do you call it? And Seattle wins it. They don't have to face each other till the end.
In Green
So,
Bay.
Right.
all right, I'm just trying to do the
But
math.
we're talking on the other side for the AFC. We're debating. We were saying, is it going to be New England or Denver, the best team? Well, they just beat New England. They actually pretty much destroyed New England just last week.
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that was a barometer right there.
Yeah, that's how you can tell that this is not a team that is going to be beat. They're not going to be beat. Maybe if you get them at home or in a neutral field, like a Super Bowl game, possibly. But in Green Bay, you're not beating them. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, well, as far as the Birds are concerned, Eagles. I mean, it's their big game will be next week against the Cowboys, and then they'll get a first round game here. I don't know if they'll get a bye. I think they'll get a game here. They could get a bye actually, couldn't they? Yeah, very well.
Eagles?
Yeah,
they still technically can. Yeah,
they could get a bye if Green Bay and them could get the byes right now.
Because they're still a 3 seed now, and like I said, Arizona is not some kind of juggernaut you need to worry about.
Yeah, it's not going to. It's not going to happen.
That's what I mean. I don't.
I think it's pretty safe that Seattle's going to win the division.
Yeah, it's now people are starting to get scared of them. Now they're showing their muscles right now.
Well, you should be scared of them. You absolutely should be scared of them. They're not like I'm not saying they're like a pushover. Like they can't beat Green Bay, but you should be scared of Seattle. But you're not going to beat Green Bay in Green Bay. It's not going to happen.
Well, Eagles secondary still stinks. And it don't look they're getting better. Usually during a season, you want to see a team get better. Like the secondary should be getting better at what they're doing, and I don't see it. And they got lucky. And I don't know what's with this Fletcher character, man, but he just doesn't turn around on the ball. And he made a play last night that should have been interference call. He just ran into the player as he was going, and he's coming back high-fiving like he just did something. I'm looking at that. You just got away with something. You didn't turn around enough. You blinded that guy. And I don't understand why these defenders don't turn on the ball. I mean, you're running with the guy. You see him looking up. What's the difference? You jump up and turn and try to block something. If you interfere with him, it's still going to be caught down there.
Yeah, if you don't turn, you're pretty much saying pass interference.
I just don't think his D-backs.
If you make a play on a ball,
all you have to do is at least look. At least look.
You gotta look.
Put your hand up and look. And at least you're making it. It looks at. Well, I was going for the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You can make an argument at least. But to me, it's just sheer laziness. Just like I don't get it. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I understand that they're not good enough. I understand that, but I don't know. It's just like I was never good enough for certain sports, but it's not like I stopped trying. Nobody gave me a free pass like to put me on an NFL team or any kind of team. I always earned the spots I had on a team just by sheer hard work, if not by talent. In certain instances, to me, that's like you're taking advantage of your own talent, of your own, and just taking it for granted. I mean, I'd rather have them cut and have somebody else that's better on there. Not better, but somebody that's going to work for
They don't have anybody, obviously. Chip's not stupid, man. If you had some players that were better on that bench, they'd be out there right now. Evidently, what's on his bench isn't half as good as what's out there on the field. So that's a big concern. You talk about getting quarterbacks in this town. I think they get all the quarterbacks they want. They can't stop anybody. They're not winning anything. And any good quarterback in this thing, any talented quarterbacks, would eat this secondary up.
And they had a chance to really turn that game around on that pick six with Marlon Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how he drops that ball.
Yeah.
Because he's probably the most dependable one they've had back there all year. And when he dropped that, I mean, there was nobody in his way. It was like 40 yards to the end zone. That would have been a big play, big momentum shift.
Yeah, they had me bitching.
They would have went.
Bitching after
the fans would have went nuts. It would have been like a 3-point game.
And that's the difference in a stadium like that. When you're in this town and you shut the stadium up, and they were doing it, and Seattle was doing their talking, and you turn the stadium, the noise into a different kind of noise. The noises of booze, pissed off people, and the difference between that kind of cheer and a cheer of everybody all pumped up. It's amazing the difference and what it does to a player.
You take away the home field advantage.
And Seattle was good at that. They got that type of player on there, and they got it done. Bitching or no bitching. I was talking about that play. And like I said, I was watching football, and I got to see that play in the New England game, and to see that kind of hit and that kind of play and that kind of touchdown be called back because the ref thought the play was just too hard of a hit.
Yeah.
And he used that helmet to helmet because he figured it had to be helmet to helmet to knock a guy silly like that. But that was a good NFL hit, and that's the way it is. I saw that, threw my hands up. I threw my flag out there. I was like, come on, this is ridiculous.
Throw your challenge flag out there.
Yeah, now you're changing the whole game itself. You just took points off the board because a referee messed up on a call. a big call that shouldn't even been called. Would have been called last year or the year before. But now that the NFL is so on this type of thing, you're starting to change games. And this takes me back to people say, is the NFL fixed? And I go, no, it's not fixed, but it can be organized, by way of the rules. You benefit certain teams, certain quarterbacks, certain ways to play. And if you got a situation like this where you got teams that hit now are going to get penalized, it takes away from their ability to help win a game. And that's the difference. I'm not talking about getting players, and fixing sporting events and things like that. I get fixed situations. You control the league, and that's what the NFL has done. And if you look at what they've done so far to this league, to have teams that have 5 wins at game 13, week 13 and 14, that are still able to get in, that means they fixed this league to a point to where the entire league is still in the playoffs. The entire league is going to fill stadiums. So the financial end of what they've done is genius. Because you can remember going back years where, okay, game 12, 13, we're out of it. We have 5 wins. We're done. Get your tickets away. I'm not going down there. Forget that. This is ridiculous. Now, every team's filling the stadium.
The AFC has 12 teams that are 7-6 or better.
Yeah.
In a game or so out of the playoffs. Like,
there it is.
The entire AFC is in.
That's not parity. That's ridiculous. Okay? It just so happens the usual suspects end up at the top all the time, which they can't help. I mean, there's always a Manning involved somehow. Either left or right, there's a Manning. Brady's name's always up there. Watch the same quarterbacks every year are still climbing for the top. The same one doesn't win it every year, but the majority of times they do. But they're getting up to the spot. I mean, I think Seattle's one and done. I think they won the Super Bowl, and they're not going to get to this year. And then after they don't get here this year, dissension on the team. Pay raises, contracts, that's going to break that team apart like it does every Super Bowl team after they win it the second year afterwards. That's when things start to break down. You start losing your players to free agency and other teams. That's just the NFL. That's the way it goes.
Every sport, really.
Right, and that's what's going to happen here. So that's why it's so hard to win 2 in a row in any sport. I mean, the only sport you can win 2 in a row really seems to be basketball.
Because basketball is different. There's max contracts where you get once a guy's making max, you can't go elsewhere and get more. You already got the most you can get. Like baseball, you can be making like $5 million for the Phillies. Look at Jason Worth. You win a World Series, now you're making $18 million for Washington. When NBA, once you're making that 22 or something like that, you can't make it anywhere else. So why you're not going anywhere? So, but that's the only sport where you can beat the same team over and over and over and over again.
Right.
And then the sport, like you said, NFL, even the Seahawks lost. They lost a couple players.
Yeah.
I mean, it just. But long term, with Wilson on a rookie contract, obviously that's not going to last much longer. He's got a year or two.
Right? Yeah.
Then he'll make $180 million.
How do you win a Super Bowl with a free quarterback? And that's it. You've done it. You as a coach and an owner, you did it. You didn't go out and buy RG3 and mortgage your entire next 10 years, which now looks like it could be 20 for the Redskins.
Speaking of that, did you see the Rams game with the Rams Redskins? Did you see who the Rams chose as the captains for the game? Did either of you guys see that?
No.
Well, every game you pick the captains through the coin toss. So the Rams chose like this 8 guys they got in the RG3 trade.
They did that on the field. Yeah, stuck that on the field.
They chose that because you get as many captains as you want. They chose like Brockers, this guy. They chose the 8 players they got from the draft, like from those picks for RG3, and made them the captains against the Redskins.
Ooh, Daniel Snyder, he knows what he's doing. He's the only one that's worse than Jerry Jones. You know what I mean?
That's the ultimate, like just shoving in your face, like, haha, look what we got for your guy who's over there not playing today.
RG3 might not be a starting quarterback for another NFL team.
Somebody desperate will give him a chance.
and he'll get hurt. He'll do his thing, and
I could see him playing in Oakland.
I could definitely see him playing in Oakland.
Definitely in Oakland.
Not now because I think they really do like Carr, and then Carr doesn't look too bad.
He needs work.
But previous when they were just trotting a new guy out every week, no, definitely that's an RG3 spot right there. But not anymore because I think Carr seems fine.
Yeah, well, they got the Raiders need a coach.
Yeah,
they're going to get Harbaugh probably. Most likely, he's going to go.
I was here.
At least the way he doesn't have to change his house.
I thought Harbaugh was going to the Jets.
No, he's not. He's not going to go. He's not coming east. He's going to jump. He's going to jump the bay there, and he's going to keep his house and his situation down there, and just go to work to a different stadium every day. That's all. He's a smart move anyway. Plus, he can rebuild that team from ground. He's not like he came to the 49ers. He had a quarterback with him already. It wasn't his guy. He had changed that team around to get himself to a Super Bowl. But this team, the Raiders, they got nobody there.
Yeah.
I mean, did he have a Carr? I mean, is Carr the one?
He looks fine, but I mean, is he a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
it's too early to tell.
His pedigree isn't that great either. If you think about it.
Yeah.
So, for the most part. But
it's like we touched on, when we were talking to ourselves, was this the running quarterback of these days. That's why RG3 is not playing. That's why Kaepernick looks worse than most quarterbacks in this league.
The most running quarterback you need is what most of you are watching now on TV. If you're not watching us or you got us on and TV on the side, is Aaron Rodgers.
Mhm.
He's not a scrambling quarterback. He's a smart runner. He knows when to go and when not to go. He don't have to turn the corner because he don't have to turn that corner because his arm is going to get him out of trouble. But if it isn't and he's covered, he has the ability to get the 5 or 6 yards that you need. And like I said, if Chip Kelly doesn't get this type of quarterback for his offense that he's running, he's never going to run it the right way. Now, I agreed and disagreed with that, for the last 2 years because I did say he could do it with the pocket quarterback. But now I see, especially when you're talking about the red zone, when you need a few yards.
You got to play right there. That is the epitome of what we were just talking about.
We
in and out.
You don't need a running quarterback. You need just somebody who can threat.
That's exactly right.
That's it.
And like Sanchez is a small threat because he has a little bit of speed to him, where Foles is no threat. Foles doesn't even get a spy. Okay, he's not worthy of a spy. And then if you go back to what I thought RG3 to me, or we call C3PO, to me he's nothing more than Vic squared. Okay, that's what he is. He's
just
Michael
not
Vick.
as fast.
Yeah, he's Michael Vick.
With the worst injury history.
And the injury is going to be the same. It's going to be the same. He's going to be a backup quarterback in this league. If he stays in this league, who knows? I mean, to me right now, I don't know this, but he might be embarrassed right now. He came in with junk time yesterday. He came in when they were beaten so bad, they threw him into the game. Now, if I'm him, I'm like, whoa. How did this happen? Where did this go?
I get Colt McCoy's junk time.
He got injured actually.
And the fact that with guys that I kind of lost all their respect. Now think about it. Are they real? All right. Well, it's only. So he's not our guy anymore. I mean, how hard are you really going to work? I mean, think about it. You're the one that put us in this situation with all your bullshit before. So
it's tough to blame it all on him. I mean, he didn't choose to get hurt.
Yeah.
And he didn't choose to get sent back out in a playoff game with a torn ACL. Shanahan told him to do that.
Yeah, well, Shanahan, that's a whole other story. Yeah. But the owner's to blame about all this stuff. He's run a Mickey Mouse organization from the day he took over the team. Picks up junky free agents, pays a lot of money for nobody, doesn't know how to draft, and quite frankly,
he doesn't draft because he trades all his picks away.
Yeah, right. He doesn't know how to draft. That's what I mean. Yeah. He doesn't know how to draft, so he's not going to. I
don't know how to do it. I'll just ship him off.
Yeah, he's like, it's like a bookie. You don't bet games because you let everybody else bet for you when they call their plays in or whatever. It's the same deal. He doesn't want to make the wrong mistake or choose the wrong player. But what are you going to do about that? I mean, between that bull, the other thing too is we're talking about these plays. Tell me if it's not me, but is every play we're waiting for a flag to come out? It's like after a big play happens, down the field, guy catches the ball, they're looking for the interference call, and it's like it's nonstop for every play. It's like it doesn't, all day long, it's the yellow flag. It's like you see a good play, you're excited, and it goes, and then you're just waiting for that flag to come trickling out somewhere. And it's almost like flagitis with these referees. It's almost just like they know there's going to be a penalty on the play. Someone's going to do something. Somebody's holding on the thing. They're not letting these players play, and they got to look this over, next year before this goes on, because I understand what they're trying to do. Protect players, but I don't see how throwing penalty flags is doing that. Okay, I think
especially in the secondary,
right?
I think it's not helping anybody.
Yeah, but I mean, it's disruptive to the game. It hurts the flow, and this interference. It's not like interference hurt players tangling up out there. I think this 5-yard thing is it's lame because of the size and the speed of these players. Should be 10 yards. There's some kind of movement out there. There got to be some kind of physical. You can't let a guy not be touched out there completely. With quarterbacks like Manning and Brady, and these guys can do it. That's why they're thriving in this NFL right now at their ages. That's what, to me, Manning and Brady, this is the best thing could have happened to them. This put maybe 3 or 4 more years onto their history here. You know, plus the fact they can't be touched.
No, the shelf life increased.
And I understand the NFL wants that. They need these stars. They don't. If they had 10 good quarterbacks in this league, 10 good draws in this league, they wouldn't care. But you can't get that many quarterbacks. Look at how many years these guys have been on top. Shows you what's come through this league and gone between the Manning, Brady, and
think about
that's not even the big story. Look at what's coming up. There's nothing coming up.
Manziel, baby, Johnny Manziel.
That's actually what I was supposed to say. Not Manziel, but think about just the past 5 to 7 years. There's been, other than Luck, there's been nobody else that's
of consequence
come close to that class of the Manning, Brady, and Rodgers and all them. It's been the same guys for.
Luck, I do believe will be good. He's showing.
Yeah,
he's good.
that's what I'm saying.
He's good.
We all thought this right here. We thought Matt Ryan was going to be close to that, and he.
Did you?
Yeah, he went. Why would you not think that?
Man. He was the man. He
went to the NFC title game.
He took the Falcons here.
He was like 24 years old, went to the NFC title game. You had to think, well, how could you not think he was?
Got in his head.
I mean, I didn't see him.
I mean, you could say Wilson, but I mean, Wilson, he's still too young to say he's up in that echelon yet.
I don't think Will Wilson's going to be one of these longevity.
I think I can see him as like an RG3 type.
Yeah,
where he's not solely as based on the run as RG3 was. But what's to say? Looking at,
I'll tell you the difference. Here's the difference between when RG3 runs the ball, he runs with power like a running back. The ball's in there, he's going in and he's taking the hit, he's getting the yards. He's a power. He's a halfback when he runs the ball. When you got a guy like Wilson, he's moving left and right and jiggling and trying to maneuver himself to a point to where he's not going to go head first into guys because he didn't have that body for it.
And that's why I feel like even Wilson in his prime, he wasn't as annoying and frustrating as Wilson because you got your hit. You got your relieve your tension. You could hit RG3. Wilson's always going down right in front, and that's the frustrating. It's like I want to hit you so bad.
I see Wilson not playing long. I see Wilson going out there like getting it. If he gets one more ring or something, I see him just going. I just see him like
he's not going to walk away.
No, he hasn't got his money. Wait, he hasn't got his money yet.
He could get his money, go play baseball or something.
No,
we got to play to get the money.
Yeah, he's
not going to walk. That's it.
No, wait,
I don't see him. I don't see him lasting a long time.
I don't see him lasting a long time talent wise. I don't.
Yeah, but cash wise, he's going to last. He's got at least another 5 years in this league.
Yeah, he's going to get paid. Yeah. But how old? He's still young though.
Yeah, he's probably 25.
Yeah,
23, right? 24.
I don't think he can't be that young. He would have been like a 20-year-old rookie at that point.
Yeah, he was a rookie 2 years ago.
And 3 years.
Third year.
Yeah.
Whatever. Regardless, the bottom line is he hasn't got he ain't got paid yet.
He'll get that 6-year deal next. He'll be here till he's at least 30.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're saying he's going to leave the league because he decides he don't want to get paid, he wants to go play baseball, or he wants to run for senator, that's a different story. In order to get paid, you got to play. In the NFL, you don't play, you don't get paid. One thing they got right.
He just turned 26, so I was wrong. I said 25. Yeah, 26. He just turned 26. So yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here till that contract runs. He's not leaving before that.
No.
Yeah.
Whether he sees the end of it, I don't know. Because like I said, I don't think he has a long shelf life. Just he's based off his size and the fact that he runs, even though he's a smart and good runner.
He's too smart to play that long.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to become one of these 50-year-old guys who can't think straight. You know,
that's what more I was leaning toward.
There's a lot to be said about that.
And you can't fault him. He's already won.
Yeah,
he's already won. What else? I mean, that's got to suck in your
legacy.
Career. Legacy,
schmegacy.
Yeah, I was gonna say legacy don't pay the bills.
Yeah, well,
but the money does. Next contract will, and then that's it.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He's not about to blow his career thinking about a legacy or anything like that. I don't think. Let's take a break here. Give us a call when you get a chance. We get back 267-563-2893. It's the Sports Goombas Smoke Phone Hotline. Thanks for sticking around with us during our technical difficulties because that's what we are. We're like a curling team.
Curling team?
Slowly, yeah. So I'm watching on the big screen. They got curling on the big screen. We'll be back in a couple seconds. I think, hopefully.
Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Stop paying your bookie each week and start collecting. They have the best handicappers in the world, all in one place. And their only job is to win you money. Check Jeff Brandes and all the experts at trendbetting.com. Trend betting theory is simple. Trends dominate in sports, and you will win in the long run by following the dominant trend. You will lose in the long run if you buck the dominant trend. Simple enough. That's trendbetting.com. Hey, you paying the piper again? You owe the guy? Busted by the book? Send that Daily selection from NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, MMA, the ponies, and even golf action every day of the week. Best Sports Picks today not only has few of the best handicappers working for them, we also have the most of the best in the nation working with them. Get you high quality picks for free every day. BestSportsPicksToday.com. Check them out and start winning now. Sports School Boss, Cash the King here. I got my chef to the left, Brendan B. We're rocking another half-hour action here.
I guess I'm not here.
Oh, yo, Mikey Wall. Yeah, I forgot about him. So used to the usual suspect. Rocking and roll here. Guess what? It's the pick session time, right? This is where Cash the King, myself, tries to win you some money sometimes. Not last week. Definitely not last week. Last week was, well, did we win anything? We had two hockey plays last week. Detroit. I should have just taken the over 2.5 on that one. I took the laid the 200, and Florida beat them outright. San Jose and the Flyers, San Jose didn't go over 3 goals. That was a terrible game. So, it was 2 losses there. And then for the rest of the week on the site, I was like 4-10. I couldn't hit a football game last night for anything. Hockey, I'm out of whack. I don't know. If you're paying your bookie, man, sue me.
It is our fault.
Because I broke the rule. Too many plays, lose too many ways. That's exactly what happened in the past week and over this weekend. So now I'm gun shy a little bit. I looked at this week's NFL. I don't like the card next week at all. I don't like anything about it. The only game I really do like is Kansas City. Who's Kansas City playing? They're playing, in Oakland? Yeah, Kansas City's going. A rematch. The Raiders beat them 2 weeks ago. Okay, at the end of the game, because Andy Reid does what he does best, runs out of timeouts. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to take Kansas City. I don't know what the side total here is. I know the game total is 41. To me, seems kind of low. I see Kansas City scoring in the 30s here against the Raiders just because Andy Reid's pissed off. I don't even know what an Andy Reid pissed off is, actually, to tell you the truth.
This is a new Raiders. It's a new Raiders team.
Yeah, it is, but they won a game. Okay, they had a big win.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Niners. They beat the Bay Area boys, and the Battle of the Bay Area, and that's the big thing now. And I think this is one of those letdown games against Kansas City, who needs to keep winning.
The whole season's been a letdown.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's the game I see. I like the 41 total. Well, actually, I don't love the 41 total. I like the side total on that, which is probably going to be 25. Kansas City be 20, 25 and a half on that one, which I think will be low. And I don't know why that game total is 41. Because they're not expecting side total bettors like myself to even look at that thing. But I am. The other one is the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. These are two teams that are looking at each other. It's like looking at each other in the mirror, these two teams back and forth. Eli's got a little bit of a thing going right now. He's statting up. Okay, so he's padding his stats and he's throwing the ball around. And this Beckham character looks like he's the next one in this NFL. I mean, he's just not a high-flying, a wire act. This guy can play. And he's a rookie. That's what's more impressive about everything. He's handling weight. As long as he doesn't go start him here, he's got a chance. And, quite frankly, the way, the NFL is putting him out there and the media and everybody's handling this guy, he's the Houdini of wide receivers here now. And that could hurt him from years to come. It's unfortunate because there's talent there.
Yeah, because I was watching Red Zone yesterday, and like his first catch of the game, they cut to Chris or Scott Hansen, whatever his name is. It's that man again.
Yep.
I was like, it's an 11-yard catch.
Yep.
I was like, relax.
You
wouldn't go and show, somebody. You wouldn't go show a Riley Cooper 11-yard catch in the middle of a game. Relax, all right?
It's a shame because that's what's going to hurt him. I mean, unless he can get together. Now, he's got the right quarterback. He's got a decent quarterback. We know Manning is what he is, and he's got a receiver who can get open. That makes him excited for next year. He's got a good receiving core there. He's got the start. It's a shame Coughlin's getting old and senile.
He is old. He already is old.
Right. So
he's been old.
He's actually leading a team where this is the type of team that he likes to start up with again. In a couple years, he could turn this thing into a New York Giant team with Eli Manning and I don't know who's running the ball for them now.
They had said the rookie, Andre Williams, had 160 yards.
There you go. Look at the team. Everybody's young. So whoever comes in to take this team, which the Giants are going to get somebody right. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go to college and find somebody who's going to, move the offense around a little bit. I don't know. Do they huddle over there in New York? I'm not sure they do. I haven't watched a Giant game in a while.
I try my best to stay away from Eli Manning games.
Yeah, well, I understand that. Anyway, the under and over this game is 46. I think that's low for two teams with rotten defenses at this point. And with quarterback problem in Washington, you don't know who's quarterbacking next week there. It's going to be RG3.
I think it might be.
They don't have a choice.
I don't know. But
right.
I saw it somewhere. He's our guy for now. And for now was in quotes.
Okay.
I think it was CBS Sports.
So I'm thinking, guys out there, we got Eli with the wide receiver tandem, and you have RG3 is going to have to show something here because everybody's down him. So there's going to be points scored here because end of the season, defenses are falling apart. Neither of these teams happen to be in that lucky square.
I think the Giants are definitely going to put up some points.
Yeah. So that 46 to me, it's only 46 because the averages that are putting together stink. And that's why it's down there. So I could see that maybe climbing up a little bit. The other game I'm looking at, surprisingly enough, is one that I really couldn't care about, but we have a little special thing here for our Tony Romo. Every week we're sticking something into him. This week we're going to lower Tony around. We hung him from the rafters here. Give you an idea. We don't wish Will ill on this guy, but I figured, I've been stabbing in the back, stabbing in the neck, chopping his arm. This time I'm going to hang him by the throat because that's what he does in December.
Chokes.
Oh, T-Row here. This is what he does. It gets cold out. He's coming to Philadelphia. I mean, 5 minutes in the game, he's going to start to shake a little bit. He's got a wide receiver who really couldn't give a crap about him at this point. So you figure, good old Tony's. It's December. It's his first game in December, I think, right? I think the last game he played was November, right? Wasn't the last time they played? Yeah. So this is his first December game against Chip and the boys in Philadelphia.
No, they played this week, right?
Yeah. Thursday was still.
What's Thursday? The third,
Thursday
right?
was the fourth.
The fourth. Well, whatever. This is December. This is real December.
It was the Bears, though. It doesn't count. It was the Bears.
So, Tony, we're not going to stab you anymore. We're not going to poke you because we know you're going to lose just by December ability alone. So we figured, good luck, Tony. And I'm going to take the Eagles here on the side total. I don't know what that total is, 54. I say Chip gets his 30 here, and the Cowboys going to dump 21 to 24 points on their own. I think it goes over the total. I would be on the Eagles on the money line. Whatever that money line is comes out, I would definitely be on that one. And Tony, you'll be watching the game. You and Jerry can sit in the suites up at the Spaceship Dome and watch the playoffs again because it's December. End of story. That's for T-Row. That's his new name. I call him T-Row.
T-Row, T-Bow.
Everybody. It's T-Row, baby. T-Row Romo. Enough of that guy. We need Manziel. We need Manziel to get in there, man.
Yeah, I think he might get in there this week.
Yeah, there might be they
said they said they haven't not throwing the towel, but they said they haven't decided yet.
I just want to see his first plastering. That's what I want to see. I want to be the first time he rolls out and he gets plastered, and there it is. And then on the other hand, do I want him to succeed? I would like to see him succeed, not because I don't like him, because you know how I am with players that come into the league, showboating before they've done anything. This guy has done absolutely nothing. And every Sunday I turn Fox for the pregame, and they're talking, what's going to happen to Manziel? Is Manziel? And I'm like, what are they talking about this guy for? It's just a name. It's like it's Tebow all over again.
He's an enigma.
And Tebow did more than him. You know what I mean? And he's surpassed Tebow in press now. I mean, this guy is talking about Twitter and Facebook and everything else, and Instagram and Schmingingram and whatever Graham just got. This dude doesn't do anything without a camera on him. I mean, he might pull the covers over his head. I don't know. We'll find out soon, I'm sure. It's probably because if he doesn't get some kind of fame soon, this dude's gonna have a reality show. Okay, what it is to sit on the freaking bench. This crap. Everybody doing this stuff, you know.
I would like to see him get a full, get
Like
an actual start.
What did Kaepernick do? What was his thing? Oh, he did the
Kaepernick,
yeah, he did. He
Kiss his
kissed
guns.
his arm out, and Tebow did the
The prayer.
the prayer thing. Yeah, and everybody, you know, it's funny. All the
T-Bowen.
T-Bone. And where did
Romo did the he chokes.
choke, right?
He chokes.
right? Well, at least Romo stayed around.
That one guy did the
Yeah.
he
He
did
did the yank,
the yank.
the pinstriper. See, I'm wearing my Carmichael throwback Mitchell and Ness special. I was gonna put it on.
Looking good. Looking good.
Got Carmichael in the back there. You know, figured I put a shirt on. I don't really wear jerseys too often, but Carmichael is a legend in this town. It's not like I'm promoting the newer guys and stuff like that. Plus, it's very comfortable.
I got a nice throwback at home. I think it's I have a Bobby Hoying. I do have a Bobby Hoying jersey.
Well, you're 12 when he was
yeah. No, I think I was way younger than that.
Younger than that, right?
I'll tell you
10.
what's funny. It was my kids got me an Eagles. I guess when they were young or whatever, they didn't know. They were like, "Oh, we gotta get him that." He watches it, and I got a James Thrash jersey a year after they
James
traded
Thrash.
him.
Oh, clearance. That's why they got it for you.
Hey, he
It
was
was
$5.
Yeah, they were bought.
Yeah.
They were, I can't
The
love it.
tooth
I
fairy
still
money.
have it because I can't. I sit there and go, "Oh,"
James
because the
Thrash.
kids bought it for me. They gave me a Thrash jersey a year after they got traded. It was just a cute thing. It's like they were young.
traded or dropped? Was he traded? Yeah,
Or
Thrash
whatever.
traded.
When he
I
was
think
going,
I think
it doesn't
traded
matter.
him, but
He was one of
He
the,
was
he was
mad.
one of the
He was
exodus
going.
after a championship. He was the Tampa Bay wide receiver. He lost in that game. We had that crew of wide receivers that all lost in those championship games back in the 2000s. What do they call it? 2000s? Yeah, that's what they call it.
the aughts.
What do they call it now? The teens. What is it? It's the teens?
Teens.
The teens, yeah.
I don't know what to
Jesus.
call them.
Oh my God.
We're approaching the roaring 20s again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, believe that? 52 freaking years old, man. Jeez. What you gonna do?
Old.
What you gonna do? You gotta throw a flag. That's what you do. When in doubt, throw a yellow flag. We'll get some yellow flags for the show. And every
That's
time,
what we'll do.
everybody screws up.
Anytime you say something stupid, like
Yeah,
the Seahawks
yeah,
are the favorite, I'm throwing a
yeah.
flag.
Yeah.
We get some
Right.
red. We'll get some red ones. You can challenge. So yeah,
I'll definitely
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
challenge,
challenge
that.
that.
I like that.
Green Bay's gonna win.
That's going to be our thing here. Okay, starting next, I'm going to get a couple flags, and when we got beef,
That's 3 of each.
and if we don't like a beef, and we,
Now you know that ESPN already does that, right?
no,
Yeah, they do on like their the game day. Or it's one of the things where the three, it's like Brewski and like two other guys. They all have yellow flags and
everybody steals my
or
shit.
red. They have red flags and they throw the flag. I'm challenging you to do
Yeah,
this.
That's your beef.
No, everybody steals my shit. You know what stuff was stolen from me, and I'm a nobody here, right?
Yeah.
All this stuff. What else did they steal? Remember when the water. Remember when in the Phillies when they had the what's in the water over at the who was it? Ike Reese or somebody came out there with the H2O.
Yeah.
H2O. I remember my daughter getting on Facebook. My father said the H2O. Yeah, we had that. You stole that from us. And by the way, I invented the selfie.
You invented the
Yeah,
selfie.
my girl JoJo and I, the girl I grew up with, we used to do selfies back in the 70s all the time with the Instamatics.
And the rectangle, too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
What does he come in? I'm trying to say. What does that mean?
Trying to tell us. Look, there's a
What
grown man
does that-
talking about selfies.
what
All right,
does
let
that
him
mean?
go.
I know. It's just weird.
I'm just saying. We were just talking about stealing stuff. We were. Whatever.
You should have copyrighted that, man. You wouldn't be doing this show right now.
Oh, there's all the reasons I wouldn't be doing
With a
this show.
Polaroid? Did them with Polaroids?
Yeah, the ones.
Did you put them on your Facebook too?
No, I don't. No, I don't do selfies on the
I
Facebook.
was kidding.
Don't kid with me. It's not
You
good.
put them in a scrapbook.
Yeah, scrap. That's his Facebook, his scrapbook.
Yeah. We talk about the two arrests doing the fist.
Okay, caption the picks here because I want to hear them all again.
Oh
together.
yeah. Oh, back to
Summarize that, please, because
where'd Tony go? Oh,
He
he's
threw
fell.
him on the ground.
He fell.
Man, oh, Vic's chewing on him.
Cut him loose.
Got him by the throat.
I should get a picture of that. Yeah, recapping the Dallas Eagle game. Whatever the money line is, I like the Eagles to win this thing. Typical Chip Kelly's not going to lose 2 in a row against the stinking Cowboy team. It's December. Everything's going against Dallas here. The fact that the wide receiver probably won't be back. Bryant's already talking about money. Romo's already talking about taking shots. When were these guys allowed to say they're taking needles now? Usually they didn't talk about that stuff. Now he goes, "Oh, I'll go take the shot."
I get mine next Monday.
Yeah,
Yay.
but that's not my point, B. You're not making millions of dollars. I mean, I thought it was bad to take these shots or whatever. They really don't talk about that. This is probably the first time I heard like on the air on the shows talk about taking needles. I mean,
They're not illegal. They're not illegal. The steroids are illegal, but the shots that he's talking about aren't illegal. That's all.
I'm not a doctor.
Novocaine's Novocaine. Take the pain away. illegal. Whatever. Anyway, I like the Eagles on the money line. I like them on the side total too. The other game, I like Kansas City to obliterate Oakland. Obliterate.
There's no V in there.
Bloviate.
It's all right. It's been a long night.
I know it has.
It's that Philadelphia accent. You can never get that shit out of your mouth, man. You know, and the braces and the accent, the whole thing is just it's chaos in here when I'm trying to talk. I'll go sign language on you guys, and the show will be done. Kansas City on the side total and the game. I think the line's 10 there. That's a big line, but I like that. You know, I'll lay to 10 on this one. I really think Kansas City's got to come out of the shell.
10.5.
Yeah, 10.5. Okay. And that's it. There's just only 2 games I liked. Like I said, the NHL card's awful. I can't even get a feel on that right now.
Can I throw a Mike the Wall pick out there for the week?
Sure can, man.
Pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Gotta let the Broncos this week. -4. Peyton just went an entire game without throwing a touchdown for the first time in 51 games. He didn't throw a touchdown. Sanchez threw 2 more touchdowns than Peyton Manning this week.
I didn't know that.
Did not throw one. I would know. In fantasy, he got me 2.9 points.
Wow.
Manning going to San Diego. Good weather. Division game.
Good.
Big game here. And it's only -4.
Well, there's a reason it's a -4.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. But Peyton's pissed because he was 3 games away from the record.
Let me tell you something. Peyton Manning pisses is the best quarterback in football.
Yeah.
I mean, Brady too. These 2 guys, when you get on their cases, especially and when it comes to football, there's no joke in Manning. Even when he's trying to be funny, it's for 2 seconds, and then we're on to the next play.
Yeah.
You see him out there high-fiving, and he high-fives and hugs a guy, and as he turns to walk back to the bench, the Manning face comes on. It's like, okay, what's next? Get the prints out, get the printouts, the pictures. Coaches, I'm going to go sit down there, throw some water in his face.
When you're when you're if you're a fan of the Broncos or a fantasy owner and you have a Bronco and you see pissed off Manning, that's the best Manning to find.
That's exactly
he gets
right.
pissed and
take away his Papa John's.
He's like,
pissed off.
I'm scoring.
I like that play. I like that. I have to see the side totals on that one. That's got to be in the late 20s probably. Yeah, most likely. Those are our picks. Do what you want with them. Be careful. I'm on a little bit of a slide right now, and you know how this stuff works. It's all ebbs and flows when it comes to this. Unfortunately, our flows are pretty damn good, better than our ebbs. They are our picks of the day, picks of the week. This is what I got put out. If you want more, you got to go to the sportsgoombas.com. That's the sportsgoombas.com. Every day we put out a play, and you do what you want with it because they're all free. And it's all brought to you by Sir Dustless. The wood guys, the wood floor guys. You need your sand and refinish your floor, you call Sir Dustless. 888-336-1770. That's 888-336-1770. Or check them out at SirDustless.com. SirDustless.com. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. That's my place for the day.
Very good.
Check, guys.
I was just going to say, it was good. It looks like some good plays there. We talk about referees getting involved in some of the stuff that goes on in the NFL as far as the camera work and the extra stuff that goes off the field. We saw an umpire or a field field judge umpire.
It's all the same.
Fist pumped each other after a play in the Buffalo game
after a touchdown.
After the Denver running back. C.J. Anderson scored against the Buffalo Bills. 2 officials very clearly, it's like, I guess it's very clear if you have cameras on it, it's very clear. But if you didn't see it at first, you wouldn't know it. I mean, I didn't see it when I was watching the game. I happened to tune in that one. And I don't know who the referee was, or I think it's a line judge. I think his name is John Hussey or something like that. And the umpire was Carl Paganelli, who he's been around for a while now. And they fist bumped each other right after the touchdown was made, and they made a big deal. There was some tweeting going on it. Buffalo's defensive back, Aaron Williams, he made a big – he was pissed off at it. He should be pissed off the fact that they lost the game, not the fact that there was a fist bump. But it looked like the 2 refs were like, oh, yeah, cool, we got a touchdown here. Like they had some vested interest in that touchdown when really, if you look at the play and you look at what happened, the positioning of the 2 referees, one was thanking the other one for getting in there and making the right call on the field, which makes a difference when it's overturned. Remember, it's always the call on the field that needs to be overturned. So he ran down the sideline with his hands up because he saw the play, because the other umpire official was looking in the pile to make sure the ball was down there and what was going on. And as he came by him, he put his fist out like, you get it? Yeah, I got it. And that's what I saw. As soon as I saw it on the replay, that's what I read out of it. I didn't read, yeah, we just made some money, buddy. Like they're trying to make out of it. They want to do a conspiracy thing in between.
Always want to do that.
The referees. And the referee, look, I don't know who these guys are.
No.
I do now. Okay, so they're in the game now. Now the referees, their names are coming out of this.
Well, did you ever hear of Tim Donaghy before he was fixing NBA game?
Yeah,
I've never heard.
He's local.
Yeah.
Well, no, here's a funny thing out of that too. Like maybe it's just a sport, you don't really notice the officials so much. I mean, like very rarely do I. Oh, that's that guy he called another game, whatever. But like in hockey, it seemed like you knew who more of the guys were. In hockey, like Don Koharski and all these other guys, I could name all the ones from the 80s and 90s. They're
all name one
all
hockey official.
All since retired or going to retire, or even umpires because maybe they were around so long, like Cowboy Joe West.
I can
like that kind of stuff.
Umpires.
But I could not for 1 minute name any of the NFL guys.
Sure,
I know a couple.
Ed Hockley.
Everyone knows
Ed Hockley has been he's
buff.
He's buff and he makes calls. He don't take no shit from anybody on the field. He's a legend in the NFL at this time. And there's the other guy.
I knew Mike Carey before he retired and became that annoying CBS official guy.
They all got one. Who's the other guy?
Pereira.
I
never heard Pereira before.
I never heard Pereira either.
No.
He was like evidently the captain or whatever. But you know what? It's right there in a nutshell tells you that the shows, they have to have, every show now has their referee now.
Yeah,
so there's another aspect of the show, another person they have in there, another mouth to go to, more time. It's like it's not enough. I got to wait 5 minutes for the instant replay to come through. Why two guys are down there with the head. Now I got to hear about another guy. Tell me about it. So there's 5-10 minutes put into a replay situation, and then when they disagree, it's great. I love when the guy up in the booth disagrees with the guy's called down there. And then what are we looking at here? You know what I mean? It's like we're all looking at the same damn thing. And of course, they always come back and say, "Well, it's what it was called on the field."
Who's the one that does it with like? I guess the Fox is the big one with Aikman and Bob.
That's what he's talking
Pereira
about.
does.
I don't know the guy's name.
They do all like Mike Carey does all CBS games.
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
He's not like in a booth or anything. He's in his own studio, and if they need him, they
right.
cut to him.
Yeah,
Same thing with Pereira.
He's in his living room smoking cigarettes.
Probably with the background. That's all it is.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? They go home on the phone. Oh yeah.
No, we got a questionable call, Mike.
Yeah,
we're going
ready.
We're going to Tampa.
And it looks like it's on a YouTube type thing because a little delay. You know, you just like you hear him talk. Oh, what's that? Yeah.
Yep.
That type of thing. So they're paying him they're paying him a few bucks. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of FaceTime, good point. Next week's show, we are going to start using FaceTime. So if you FaceTime at Kashi King at yahoo.com. You FaceTime phone calls. We'll put you on the big screen or put you here on the desk. Don't know we'll get you on the video, but we will have you in the studio. So you can phone calls and FaceTime starting next week here on Sports Goomba Show. Keeping up with the Joneses. Keeping up with the Jerry Joneses.
Big news.
Big news. Big news. Gonna throw a flag on that one, man?
No.
You can't. Absolutely not. So, if they're going to make, NFL, it's almost they look for stuff now. They got away with the criminal acts. All right, that's all gone. Now there's the inside things that they're trying to weasel out, to make the stories happen. And to have maybe two referees on the take sounds good for a couple hours.
Yeah, it could fill a headline for a day.
Because right now, no players are out of line. I mean, except who made the hit in the Patriot game. Who it was. Because he's going to get everything's going to get fined now. Because if it's a head-to-head, it's automatic.
I can't imagine how you could possibly watch the replay and find him.
I don't know how you not. You're right. What they're probably going to do is watch the replay and say, well, we made a mistake. And that's it. Oh, so we changed the outcome of the game? Perhaps. The Patriots still won the football game, but the whole idea was San Diego's on the move. They didn't play very well anyway, that game.
That game was ugly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a wonder that, the Patriots weren't playing that great either. It's just one of those games.
I actually did watch that entire game, mainly because I had Gronkowski in fantasy. I needed to watch it. But because, what's his name? Cyphers, the punter, got hurt. And then from then on out, you're just like, I feel like
they wrapped up.
Yeah, you wrapped them up like
what was that about?
I don't know what it was. Collarbone, shoulder. I've never seen
When did they ever wrap somebody up on the field?
I guess they didn't have a sling handy, but
a blow-up balloon that can wrap around, or just get him off the damn field,
or just be a man, just hold your arm to your side.
He's driving off in a cart wrapped up
Completely
with
wrapped.
an ace bandage all around him. And I'm thinking to myself, you're a freaking punter.
It's a punter.
You're a punter, and you're getting
He
wheeled
did take
off
a
of there.
nasty hit though. He got
I think
got hit hard.
His fall. He didn't have a fall.
Yeah. It was the fall.
It's the fall. The hit was cut his legs cut out on a block.
See what I think it was is because all punters nowadays, and this goes back exactly what you're saying. We actually forgot about this. We're talking about how all receivers want flags for this and linemen want flags for hold. Punters, if you look at them wrong, they are going nuts.
You fart on the way
Flopping
by.
See, but here's the thing: the punter that's been for ages though. That's always
It's
been like
gotten
that.
worse though because
does.
now they
But
call.
I mean, even as a kid, it was like you knew if a punter went down, there was two calls. You had roughing.
Running
Before they only ever had roughing, so
Right.
you had to really get hit to get that.
Right.
But nowadays
Running
we'll
into
give you
the
running
running
too.
into-
No, the running has been for around a long time. That's been
Really?
it's been
Not
around
more than 10 years.
Oh, more than 10
More than
years,
10
I think. Yeah.
Maybe it's.
Listen,
I didn't realize it.
we're telling you. DNR, I'm telling you. 52, 45.
I'm worried
I'm
about
telling you.
challenge flag. I'm challenging that one. Come on, get my flag out.
Well, next week we have flag. What color flag is ESPN's?
I'll look at it.
They have red because they're challenging it. What they're saying is, Aaron Rodgers, I challenge you to have a great game today to throw the flag.
Oh wait, that's different, man. That's not beef challenge.
no
way.
no.
They're just doing fancy shit.
Yeah,
man.
they're
Nah.
just using it as a prop.
Yeah,
to,
prop.
like,
No, like we'll have
Andy
legitimate-
Dalton, I challenge you to win a road game today. They're
Oh,
throwing
Is
flags.
that Boomer and them guys?
No, it's
Oh.
not Boomer. Nobody wants to see him do
Oh,
anything.
yeah, really.
He looks like a corpse on television. You ever see his eyes? They're just so like.
Hey, I think him
bagged
and
them.
Rendell were separated at birth. If you look at Rendell and you look at the what you call it,
I don't.
put them together. Don't you do drop? I think I did that. I did that last year on Facebook. I put Rendell and the Gov
Boomer.
and the Boomer next to each other.
Close.
I put they were separated at birth.
I always hated him.
Yeah, but he's been. I don't know. He's got some kind of contract with ESPN to be around that long.
He makes too much money to do nothing.
Do not. Yeah, well, he makes noises.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing. He makes those noises, but if you go around to all these shows that are on now, and there's a ton of football shows. I mean, you go to every channel, just all day long, just football show, and everybody's stating the obvious all day long. It's over and over again. By the time we get on the air on a Monday night, it's all out there. That's why I like to be a little different. That's why I won't talk stats. Everybody knows the stats. Like people are probably surprised. Why are you going over Chip Kelly's lowest output as a career? I said, who cares? What do I care if this is his lowest output? I saw that 30 times today, repeated over and over by Comcast Sports, on the radio shows, ESPN. What? Who cares if it's his lowest output? He lost the game. We know he lost the game, but they keep pushing out the same crap. When you get totals and it's the highest output, it's always because you won a football game. And there's some euphoria involved with it. Not with this bullshit. You want this to go away right away. But you know what is there? There's so many stations and so much time to fill. That's the bullshit is over and over again.
If you watch that block on ESPN, I used to always watch it, Depart Interruption and the Around the Horn. And if you watch those shows back to back, they cover the exact same
Same
topic,
thing. Yeah.
like almost in the same order.
It's like watching Jon Stewart and Colbert. 11 o'clock,
My
11
dad watches that. I don't watch that.
But you're right. They do the same things. I mean, I used to watch
Which I understand. There are only a select few main topics to talk about, but it's just the same. It's just, do we need two different shows back to back on the same channel covering the exact same things?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I know that's because there's not enough. There's too many channels.
Mhm.
There's, that's the way it is. That's what we got to do. That's the world we're into.
I was trying to find it. I can't find out when it was actually brought in, but running into the kicker, I do believe it was brought into in the 90s.
No, it was
Allegedly.
it was definitely in the 80s because the instant replay came in.
challenge.
I can remember the instant replay the year after it happened with the Redskin game. Redskin Eagle playoff game when there was a fumble in a game in the 80s. There was a big deal about it. The ground caused the fumble, that kind of thing, and it became the year after that they changed the rules. That was all AstroTurf stuff. That's the basic reason for the ground causing a fumble is put in there because of the AstroTurf back in the 80s. All these places were like playing Veteran Stadium,
Yeah.
playing like concrete.
They
St.
were
Louis,
making
same thing.
all those stadiums at the same time they're
Right.
coming out with. They're all just
The cookie cutter stadiums, and they put that in because players for one were getting injured, and then the injuries led to the guys diving on the ground, the ball popping out. They said, well, the ground can't cause a fumble. That's going to be a new rule. Then they started changing the fields around and back to grass everywhere, and they never changed the rule. To me, and I've always said this, is that if you're going to have a game where the field becomes part of the problem, then you got to change the rules. I mean, as a football player, you hit the ground, you got to hold the ball. In baseball, you fall on the ground and the ball pops out, the ball's loose. You
I
know,
mean, I can see where they're
there's
coming
no
from
other
with the-
sport. There's no other sport where the actual playing field stops the play.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. That is a good point. I didn't think about it. In baseball, you make that catch diving.
Yeah.
You hit that ground, pops up. You're right. It's a live play.
To be a football player is to learn to hold on to the ball when you hit the ground. I mean, that's the way it is. I don't know, but in high school football, it's the same rule, right?
In high school football, it's even worse. If you don't even need to be touched if you just fall at all.
Yeah, we got a phone call. Sports Goombas, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, it's Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you been?
Hey guys.
What can we do?
All right, a couple things here. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a terrible franchise. They drafted a punter 2 years ago, Paul Anger, in like 53rd pick. Russell Wilson went 3 picks later. Everybody makes a huge deal about it. Russell Wilson's a terrible quarterback. He would not make them better. Can anybody explain to me the fascination on everybody saying Russell Wilson over this guy? Granted, he did take a punter in the 3rd round, but still.
Well,
You
know what it is, Joe? Russell Wilson came to the right team.
Yeah, I don't think Wilson would make the Jaguars a much better. He'd probably go on a better team, obviously.
Yeah.
But you put Wilson in Jacksonville, it's not a playoff team.
No, he doesn't have that kind of. He doesn't have that kind of it at this point.
No, that's what I'm asking. Like, everybody got this fascination with saying, "Oh, well, the Jacksonville Jaguars got messed up. They could have took Wilson." And I'm like, all right, so instead of a 3-win team, it might be a 5-win team.
Well, Joe, you know what it is? They see Wilson's Super Bowl. That's what they're looking at. I mean, they see he won a Super Bowl, and they're not realizing how he won his Super Bowl. He didn't make mistakes, and his defense destroyed the rest of the league. You know,
you could say with a lot of teams.
I don't. It just drives me nuts seeing that every time Seattle's goddamn on TV. That's all you see. You know,
I've never heard of that.
You know, that he would make them. You know, take them to the promised land.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I'm not a Russell Wilson fan. I mean, he's you know what? But I can't say. Look, he does his job.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he does, man. He got the Super Bowl. You can't take that away from him. He didn't make the mistakes to take the Super Bowl away from him. You know what I mean?
That's what kind of bothers me is I want him to fail, but he does. He won't. He doesn't.
And that's the thing that everybody wants him. Trent Dilfer as a Super Bowl. Does anybody want him to go out there and start for them?
No, you're right. I mean,
look at even more recently, Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
I don't want Joe Flacco.
Listen, Flacco did it right, man.
I don't want Joe Flacco to start for you either. But principle.
But see, that's what happens when you win. That's why that ring is so key, especially if you're a young player in this league. You get it early,
money,
and you write your ticket for the next 10 years because you walk around with that ring. In the NFL, the ring is so important. Mm-hmm. It really is. It
more than any other sport.
Yeah, it makes or breaks you as a player. And the ones it doesn't, and the very few Dan Marinos out there that go through. You know, you look at quarterbacks that went through with greatness and didn't win championships. You know, the Dan Marinos. Fran Tarkington, even going back further. But in the modern day football, I mean, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, you really can't think of a quarterback who had a great Dan Fouts. But these are guys that are coming out of the 70s, though, who were good quarterbacks, great quarterbacks, had legendary, and they just couldn't win their Super Bowl because they didn't have the other team around them. Where you look at a guy like Russell Wilson, who came out young, just like Dan Marino with that Miami Dolphins team, that he was a rookie and went to the Super Bowl and lost. So some people don't even know he went to a Super Bowl. They forget that he went to the Super Bowl young. But you look at, Wilson is to the Super Bowl because of the other side of the team. That's why he's there. It's not his greatness.
And that's the thing too. Is like he offensively, he really wasn't even that great last year. I mean,
no,
like
he was a game manager.
The guy he's throwing the ball to, he's still throwing the ball to this year. Percy Harvin didn't play it all last year.
Right.
Golden Tate went somewhere else. He said, "I'm better. This guy makes me blow." So he went somewhere else and he's better.
He's having a great.
The offense is. With the exception of Marshawn Lynch, that offense is god awful.
Yeah,
agreed.
The defense is just, I don't know what they did. They did steroids or something.
They are. Well, the defense is what it is. I mean, put together a good defensive squad, and they put it together young. So now it's together for a while. And like I said, in the next year or two, that's going to change because the cash is going to come into play. Everybody's going to get paid. I mean, who's the other veteran on that the secondary for Seattle?
Chancellor,
and there's another guy,
Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been
Chancellor.
Yeah, Thomas has been around a long time.
Not that long.
Well, what's he?
He was the same draft class as Brandon Graham. So
what's he? Fifth year?
5 year?
5 year. Well, he gets his dollars next year.
Oh well, I think he might have already got it.
Okay, but there's going to be a cap here to where they can't pay everybody. And that's,
Byron Maxwell,
right,
the other corner. We're
Right.
saying he's a great corner, but he's going to be a free agent in
Yep.
a year or two.
So they got one more run with this crew.
All those, I think, all their linebackers are on rookie deals. All of them.
This is just the way it is, man. In football and in other sport, you get your timeline. Like you said, there's not that many San Antonio Spurs where they can run a team, for
Over and
15
over and
years,
over and
over and
over
over again. They just smart business people. That's all.
Mhm.
They had to get it done. NFL, it's impossible. And I was listening to a conversation before, Joe, about how teams only have 3 years to do this. There's no more 5-year building. That's why back in the 70s and 80s, you used to watch teams build. You used to go to the playoffs 1 year, 2 years, then climb the mountain, do your 3-year process. You don't get that long anymore. After 3 years, if you're not good enough.
I mean,
Good.
like they're already trying to hang the guy in Chicago, and he's been there for like 3 years.
Yeah, well, he's hung.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to make any excuses. He took them over. They were a winning team.
Yeah.
And they haven't been a winning team since he took over.
Yeah, I always say, you talked about teams and winning team and coaches and stuff like that. It comes down to talent. You know that. It's you can talk about coaches. Some coaches make talent better.
Yeah.
They put the right talent in the right kind of schemes and stuff like that. But the bottom line is, if you got players, you can win.
It's just like we said. If you put Peyton Manning in Jacksonville, it's a playoff
Right.
team. If you put Bill Belichick there, probably not a playoff team.
Yeah.
No,
They'll contend.
they'll win 5 or 6
Yeah.
games.
I mean, some guys are just great, and some guys you just you got to be able to drink their Kool-Aid. I mean, anyone who goes to New England can drink the Kool-Aid and be great.
Mhm.
And that's what it is.
I quote Cashy. He feels that, and he's right in this, that you have all these people getting thrown as elite players labeled all across the league. But if you look at it, there's no, in any sport, really, great players are great, but they're not only great, they make everybody else around them great too. And that's the major difference in this league right now. And he said that 5 years ago, and it holds true more than anything to this day with that. And you could see it with the average quality, the quantity of average players out there. It just goes to show you, when you take somebody out of an element, that the other players around them just falter.
Yeah.
You could see that right away.
Just like last year, we were talking about how great Jordy Nelson was this year. Jordy Nelson was still there. Randall Cobb was still there. Eddie Lacy was still there. They're all still there last year, but Rodgers wasn't, and they fell apart.
Exactly.
That's it. I mean, that's how important the QB is in the NFL. And the ones that win without an NFL quarterback or a talented quarterback are the ones that
You better have a damn good defense.
one and done.
Mhm.
You never got a guy who's going to win a Super Bowl and be that good and come back the next year. And if Wilson comes back this year, the Super Bowl, it's not because of him. It's because of his defense. And they showed a little bit of that against the Eagles and what they can do when they shut you down. And once again, I'll go back to that game and say they should have shut the Eagles down. But the Eagles, Sanchez, he had opportunities to hit receivers out there and didn't see him. Would have changed that game around a whole lot.
Eagles shut
Well,
themselves
that
down.
was the other thing. Like some of the stuff I was watching, there's no reason right now, any reason whatsoever, Riley Cooper should be on the field.
I think
Him
he's
and
awful.
Sanchez can't
Well-
get on the same play, and then Sanchez pegs the ball at him the next play.
Yeah, I think, you know what? And
Sanchez takes down on him. You need to get him off the field. You need to get him away from Sanchez.
I agree 100% with you. I thought that pass, though it was overthrown, I mean, it could have still, I mean, it looked like they were out of sync there. Like he knew he had to turn the other way, and you're right. There's a problem there, and it's starting to come out on the field. And
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Josh Huff guy. I'm not anybody else guy. Somebody else needs to go out there. Somebody else needs to be on the field.
Yeah, you're right.
Who's right or who's wrong? Nobody's ever going to know,
Right.
unless Chip Kelly calls it out.
Well,
But I mean, the two of them can't get on the same page.
He's really
One of them
regressed.
needs to know,
Yeah.
it's going to be Cooper.
got a big chunk of money, and he's going backwards. And you know what? And you'll see this week what happens with that.
I think last year he was trying so hard to prove himself over what he did in the offseason.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Thanks for calling us. Bye, man.
Like I said, I think last year because he had the whole scrutiny of the offseason with the racism thing, and he was trying to really make a name for himself. Like, no, that's not me.
Just overperform. It happens. It happens.
Even
anywhere else in any career. 93 Phillies comes to mind. Every time I see overachievers, every time I hear it, I see that team. They overachieved. Everybody had almost a career year that year at the same time.
I don't know where the theory of Riley Cooper as a legit starting receiver, because even last year he had a good season, but I think he had like 46 catches. I mean, we don't talk stats here, but That's not great at all. Like,
Not a lot.
That's not a lot at all. It's like you do the math. It's like 3 a game. Like, that's not that good.
And the only reason he got so many and a lot, so many touchdowns is I don't want to give credit, but there were other threats on that team last year, and then one of them was Deshaun and blah blah blah. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter if you had another. You still have threats on the team, but if you can't get open, you can't get open.
Well, here's the thing. You say that and you bring that up, and as I'm thinking about it here, they say, well, we had Deshaun, this, that, and the other thing. Everybody's always talking about that. But here's the thing. If you think about it, although Deshaun didn't make much of a difference, if you had Macklin and Jackson right now, one side and the other,
Pretty good.
Now you start to think about it. Maybe there's a point to that. Even though Deshaun doesn't really hadn't caught big game passes in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
He's made his plays, but they weren't game changers. The threat of the two of them healthy would have made a difference in that back. And I see that now because I thought I was fooled by Cooper last year. I thought Cooper was a good possession receiver. He get the ball in his zone. He's got big hands. He gets up there. He gets it. And he's tough. But Nick
Foles,
like
a little wide. He's like a little tight end.
No, but
Small tight end.
Well, you know what it is.
That's all I saw.
You know what it is? He was used to the Nick Foles way of doing things, and that's the bottom line with him. Nick Foles knew how to put the ball to him, and evidently he isn't getting his with Sanchez in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different quarterback, and Sanchez is a little more on the move.
Sanchez clearly seems to favor Matthews.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: when you're on the move, and Sanchez does go out of the pocket a lot, he moves left to right more than Foles did. You're now not throwing to a spot. You're trying to get an open. So you're on the move. It's a different look. It's a different look and also a different throw. If you're not set, your throw goes different. That's why Sanchez floated a couple balls because he's not set. It's a big difference. And when you're trying to hit a receiver on the nose and put it in his hands, it's better to be like a pitcher-catcher type thing than it is leading a receiver in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference. That's what the difference between Foles and Sanchez talent is, the difference in arms. And that makes a big difference. And I'm sure if Foles comes back, Cooper will do better because he's going to be in a better situation. 3-step drop back quarterback looking for to make his strikes. And that's the difference.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a bang play.
And you see that a lot when quarterbacks change on teams. Different receivers come and go.
Oh, you definitely see that a lot.
Yeah. So
I was just trolling on CBS Sports there, and 99% chance
Snow
that Brown the Browns on the verge of
football
of going Manziel.
Well, I heard that today. I heard that again today. Yeah, well, you know what? At this point,
I'm drooling.
Well, at this point, you can't blame him because where you're going at, you're starting to lose games with this quarterback.
Yeah, Hoyer has not played 3 straight games now. He's played very, very poorly.
Yeah, well, yeah. And plus the fans are dying for it.
They all want Johnny.
The media wants it, and they want it. You know what? It's more like everybody wants it. They want it to start because if it's going to start and end fast, they just want to get it out of the way. Because that's what's going to happen. Manziel's going to come in there and he's going to make a difference. I think he's going to get hit. I think there's players on the other side of the ball.
They're waiting for him to get
right.
there.
They're just tired of listening because these guys. If you look at look at Richard Sherman. Okay, he's a tough guy. Mm-hmm. He's come out of this league. He's paid his dues in the NFL. He wasn't popular at first. He's done something now, and he's got to listen to this clown yap away, get all the press. You don't think he has a shot, a blitz or something, or sees him come around the outside, he's going to put one into him. He
doesn't play him, but yeah, I'm sure he would.
Well, I mean, next year,
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at it. I mean, he called our quarterback a good imposter. So imagine what he's going to do to somebody like Manziel.
Well, I mean, one theory I have for turning to Manziel is what did we say about how you get these new like the RG3 or any kind of new quarterback, and Manziel is a mobile quarterback, but it's you get a year before you figure him out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they need to win now. So if they can plug him in and they can win 3 straight games because nobody figured him out yet, that gets them to playoffs. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
That's all they care about.
Money-wise, yeah.
I mean, so you got to think that maybe that went into it. Maybe if they can, for last 3 games a year, nobody figured him out. I mean, they all seem to have figured out Brian Hoyer.
Right.
That's pretty obvious.
Well, Hoyer's just your typical.
He's just average at best.
Yeah, it's when they talk about figuring out, and I laugh because when you figure out these running quarterbacks, it's not really. It comes down to not figuring them out. You figure out systems. Running quarterbacks, it's easy to figure them out. You hit them. You hit them enough, they don't want to run no more. You hit their arms enough, you pound down. When you get tackled, you get that weight pounded on your shoulders, and you get separated shoulders. just like what happened to Foles. And after a while, you can't do it anymore.
And I think of all the running quarterbacks, I think that we mentioned, I think he might be the smallest for all of them. I don't know.
5'10", 5'11", right? He's not.
No, he's not. He's 6.
Is he
he's
6?
At least 6, but he's thin. He's not big. I don't know Wilson's weight, but I'm pretty sure Wilson's thicker and stockier.
To me, he looks like your typical punter. When he's standing out there,
he looks
small
like a
shoulder
punter.
pads and that type of thing. But regardless, I mean, if you think about it, we will talk about all these running quarterbacks. How many have we really seen?
6 foot even.
Who's prospered in the NFL in the past 20 years?
Who's what?
What quarterbacks have prospered in the NFL running the ball like that? I mean, really none.
Long term,
none of them.
No one looks at that. No one's won like a Super Bowl, but
Steve Young was the last running quarterback who actually picked up yards on the ground. I mean, you can go back to McNabb, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl. McNabb was pretty good at running the ball his first 10 years. Then they started keeping him in the pocket, and then he got old. That's the bottom line. I mean, he would be the only one I can think of right now, and I hate to say his name. Did he call a game this week?
I was watching Red Zone, and unless he called the Giants, in case he called the Giants game, because they never even checked in on the Giants game. That was such a blowout.
I had to jump off the subject.
I didn't hear him. I didn't hear him.
Yeah, I didn't hear a report on him either. But
6 foot 210.
Who's that?
That's small.
He's not 210.
That 210 is generous.
I'm 212, 5'9", so yeah.
Manziel's not 210.
Got Cashie's body. It looks like me.
I'm 5'8", 228. I'm a fire plug.
You're 10 pounds heavier than I am?
Yeah.
God damn, I gotta jump on a scale. Since I got these braces, man, I don't eat as much anymore. Or I do, I can't eat it takes too much work.
Wait a minute. Were you just insulted that I was only 10 pounds over there?
I think he was.
I think he was.
And
I'm bald, so I lose that hair weight too, that whole ounce.
Yeah, there you go.
That whole pound.
You want to throw a flag on that one? Go ahead. I'll pull a scale in here. We'll measure up. We'll bring a scale in there.
That's next week's.
That's next week's, yeah.
The scale showdown.
Before we end the show, I want to hit on the 76ers won a basketball game last week.
They won 2 games.
They did?
Two? Yeah.
They won again.
They
won
beat?
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
First, they beat.
I saw the first win. I figured I don't have to watch anymore.
Both on the road too. They won at Minnesota and at Detroit.
Yeah, 2 rotten teams.
Yeah, 2 very bad teams. Detroit's only 1 game ahead of them, I think now.
I'm happy. I just wanted that done and out of the way. I
It's
didn't
not,
want them
it's
to
not,
have to
something, and it's funny.
keep suffering.
OKC starting to play well. They got their star back, and now they're starting to chime. And I know they were. I don't know if they were hoping that Durant wouldn't come back so they can fight for that draft pick. But
I think they were way too good and it was too early for worry about draft picks.
Yeah, well, it was something on their minds though to see where he.
And because with Durant, I think he only has like a year or 2 left.
Yeah.
There's no reason to waste a year.
See, here's what I was thinking as I was reading about that. I'm thinking Durant 2.5 years left, Sixers 2 years of this chaos, man. He pulls in here, they sign him, perfect. Gets him into a big market. Oklahoma, forget about it. Come to Philadelphia, Durant. He'll be due for a big contract.
That's his a pipe dream.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking.
It would be great.
If you look at if the Sixers could do it real right, and make it happen where they put this team together and they need that veteran. He'll still be young enough to want to join a team that's ready to, especially after OKC gets the deck in the next couple of years. And
actually, I wanted to bring up Durant earlier when we were talking about quarterbacks who don't want a big one, and everyone always says Marino. Like they talk about Marino, he didn't win. Durant's never won anything, but people just love Durant.
He's just what's it been 5 years now?
No, he's been way longer than he was there when they were Seattle, so he's been in the league for
Who did he come out with?
He was drafted in 2005, I believe.
2005, okay. All right, so he's been there that long.
Yeah,
10 years.
He's been there a while.
Oh man,
but he was 19 when he was a rookie.
When did he start shining? Like
when did he start what?
When did he start, playing well? Where he was coming.
3rd year, he became a superstar.
I'm so far out of basketball. I didn't think he was around that long.
Yeah, he has been.
Okay, so he's fine. So he's a veteran.
But the thing is, I don't know because I'm a Westbrook. I'm a Durant fan, so I'm not gonna so with quarterbacks in NFL, if you don't win a big one, you become marked a loser.
Yeah.
But NBA, nobody's calling Durant a loser.
No,
they praise Durant.
It's a different kind of marketing sport. What I mean?
Much different.
Yeah, it's right now watching basketball, I don't know what to watch. I try to put a game on and get myself up to speed with the NBA, and I just can't sit there and watch it. There's no I don't know what to say. There's too much scoring, first of all. But that's basketball. I understand that. But there's something about the way the scoring is done. Some of this run down. They're not taking the 3-pointer and jamming the ball in. There's no, 3-4 guys involved in the play. And very rarely do you see the guys break down court, dish it to that second guy coming down. Usually the guy takes it, dunks it to the ball, or lays up, does what he can. There's no – I like to say the only teamwork you're seeing in the NBA now is on defense for the most part, and even that's hard to get from these teams right now.
Only a few teams actually play.
Yeah.
2007 drafted by
7?
Seattle. 7.
I was wrong, but yeah, still that's
Okay,
That's
about
he's only
8
20,
years.
he's
Yeah,
only
8 years.
26 though.
yeah. I knew that. I knew he was like a year younger
Yeah.
than I am.
Yeah, he's a young kid, so like you said, it could be available somewhere
Yeah,
down the line.
that's up to the Sixers if they make themselves tasty, for the
Yeah,
most
you have
part.
to. You're not
Yeah.
gonna. You need to make yourself look good first.
And NHL, I mean, I don't even want to talk about the NHL right now. I'm kind of out of whack with them. I know the local boys said they get good goaltending, but they can't put the puck in the net. So what's the difference?
I do. I read an article and I highlighted it because in case we did to bring it up because I think this is awesome because this is what actually you have been saying and well me too, but mostly you from preaching this in the last couple of years here. And this is somebody I don't know where the article is from. I just saw it and I clipped it and I'm going to quote it. This is about the Flyers. Somebody on the outside making an analogy, not Philly fans, nobody. The biggest problem that the Flyers have is simply the way the defense has been built over the years. Other than Street and Michael Del Zotto, who was signed as a free agent following the news that Timonen would be sidelined, the Flyers have constructed that type of defense that you would have seen in the NHL 10 or 15 years ago with a bunch of stay-at-home guys who offer little in the way of mobility and puck skills. Even worse is the price they paid to build that defense where it has been trading away their assets. Example, James Van Riemsdyk.
James Van, you said that?
James Van Riemsdyk.
Well, we used to play here a couple years ago.
Yeah, they're saying they not only did they build a defense that is obsolete in the NHL anymore, they traded away their good players to do it.
Yeah, but they've been they've been trading away their good players for years. It's not if I don't even look at the defense. I just once again I watch the rest of these hockey teams. All these professional hockey teams have players who shoot the puck on goal, who have shots. I'm so tired of seeing block shots. And like I said, wide shots. It's wide. You just how many times you hear the word wide come out of the play-by-play call? It's enough already. He shoots wide. This wide. Open net wide. Wide to the right. Whatever. It's just enough already. You practice enough on that net that you should have a shot that goes towards that net every time. And if you got guys in front of you, you got to move the puck. You don't fire into their skates. And that's what I see a lot of the shots. It's almost like they're looking for luck shots. Let's fire it into the net and see what happens to it.
It's a shame too because the last week,
I'm going down Thursday night. I don't know why.
Mason has been very good. It's a shame it's been wasted games. I mean, he's picked up a couple wins here and there, but he's actually been playing very good.
He's playing great. You know what he is? He's keeping them in games, but they should get blown away. But it's wasted. It's getting wasted. I mean,
it's like the opposite. We didn't have a good goalie for the longest time. No. Now we have a steady goalie. I'm not going to say a great goalie, but a steady, dependable goalie.
Just get him 3 goals a game to win the game.
Yeah,
3 goals. All you need.
Hell, half of them too now.
That's hockey now. It's once again. Well, we're talking December hockey here, which we know better than that.
Yeah.
Nothing matters till March in the NBA and in hockey. It's we get to the winter bullshit classic or whatever it is. I don't know who's playing this year. All I know they're starting to promote it now, but they don't have that 24/7 this year, where it's not on HBO anymore. I think they moved it to another channel.
Remember I brought it up. What the hell was it? It's on
like the Epix channel or something.
Epix, yeah,
something like that. Yeah. I guess HBO had bad ratings last year or whatever.
This year it's what do you call it? Capitals and
I got a feeling NBC
Wings, right?
I think NBC owns that station. There's got to be some kind of hook in there.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I think it's Capitals and Red Wings.
Washington's
at National Stadium.
You know what? I'm not. It's like I don't care. It's like they played it out the first 4 years here, and it was like something special. Now they got a bunch of games outside, and the one game on New Year's Day. It's not a draw to me anymore. I mean, even though
I love it. I love it. It's like
it's
become my New Year's
talking
tradition.
About in general.
Yeah.
It's not even HBO kind of pushed it away a little bit, so it doesn't have that oomph anymore to it. I think that in the beginning it was great because it was the only game outside. Now there's 4 and 5 games outside, so because they're going to make the money, obviously. But that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I'm just saying the actual game itself on New Year's Day doesn't have the
juice.
The juice. That's what I'm talking about. The vigorous juice. Before I go, I want to say I've been watching the show Newsnight on HBO.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah,
I've heard about it. Never watched.
Great show, great, and it's going off the air. And it was yesterday's show, and they had one more. One of the characters died. Whatever. It was pretty sad. But they brought
Spoiler alert! Come on.
Yeah, whatever. It's like an actor.
It's like a Walking Dead spoiler, right? They messed up.
The show's been on already, man.
I know. I was kidding.
3 days. Anyway, not a lot of people. People watch it, but not a lot of people I know watch. I just got into the show because it's a reality show because it talks about real events, but in the past. So they brought up and talking about all this football stuff and about cameras and things like that. The whole show yesterday was based on cameras everywhere, websites that do things for. You can chase celebrities and stuff like that and find out where they're at and get there. It's like everybody's got a camera everywhere and the social media is all over the place. There's no privacy whatsoever anywhere for anybody. And eventually that's got to explode. And I mean, relating that to sports too, in a sense right now where the cameras are all over the place. Hundreds of cameras during games, cameras in people's hands during games, people videoing the game where you're not. And I see it up on Facebook all the time. Shots from games that are taken from people's phones or whatever, or their cameras or whatever they're carrying. It's just that the camera is taking the privacy out of everything. And mostly in sports too, where a player cannot make a gesture like you said and not get in trouble for it. It's like it's so controlled. It's almost it's like it's puppet. It's like it's puppeteering. I don't know how to say it, but it's like right now we're watching the Green Bay game. The cameras are all inside the guys here.
Sidelines. It was all
sidelines.
sidelines.
Yeah, guys rubbing his nose. God forbid he's got to pick his nose or he has to move his cup. All of a sudden, that's going to make it to YouTube all over the place. And everybody's been watching this guy grab himself for the next 2 weeks.
Hey, in my defense, I didn't know who that guy was, but I'll know his name after that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And they talked about how the world is like it's not even a matter of Big Brother anymore. Big Brother isn't even something anymore. We don't even know who that is.
It's everybody. It can be you.
It's me and you.
Classic example. I was working at a local restaurant, and you can load the app onto your phone to watch the security cameras. Yeah. So I watch the security camera. I see a guy sitting on a table. Tables are made for glasses, not asses. So I texted him, get your ass off the table right now. Get to work, do something. Granted, it's fun watching the fear of God strike somebody who doesn't jumps down right. And all that. But still, right. Is it what I've not 5 years ago, 3 years ago? I would not even know that guy was goofing off at work.
I can tell you a quick story before we go. I'm with the other chef, Andre, who calls the show. We're out to having we're at a restaurant, and I got an application on my phone that's Samsung, so I can control TV sets in bars. So I'm sitting there, and we couldn't get our check, and everybody's watching. It was during the playoff game, baseball, and it was something else going on too. It was baseball and whatever, and some college game was going on, and everybody and the waitresses and everybody's gathered around the TVs, and nobody.
It's paying attention.
And we need a check. And it's like, and I'm getting sick of standing there. And so I take the app, and this just goes to show my control. I want to shut both TVs off. Okay. And everybody stopped. Whoa, TV on, TV. I mean, and of course, everybody they disbanded for the TVs and came around and did what they do. Put them back on. I can put them back on too.
Yeah, I've had similar story. I had a similar situation where I was at.
My point was to just go to show that I controlled that TV from a chair. That's just me controlling a TV set.
Exactly.
If that could have been me wanting to stir up a crowd at the end of the game, I'll just shut it off. Everybody missed the play, and they start screaming and throwing things around. It's just the control and along with the video of people and people. There's
what you can do nowadays.
Right. There's no privacy. You have no control left. And like I'm equating it to sports.
What does they tell you? Like you got on all your laptops and stuff. There's a little camera. Close your freaking computer at night. That would have hacked like 800,000.
I do like this. What I do is I do that too. And also, when I'm on it, I put a, cover like this because I got that FBI thing once. I was sitting here doing my work. All of a sudden, I see a thing come up there, an FBI, virus thing on my computer, and they're saying I don't put out $300 into my Visa right now. It stays on my screen. I knew, call my computer guy, but my camera went on, took a picture of me.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here. Also, I can see
That's
my
creepy.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's another thing. Especially they act like 900,000 college kids once because they know college kids are stupid.
Yeah. That's why.
And exactly, and they can go and get them to kind of like almost blackmail them into stuff. So
And that's that's not. Obviously we're talking about in sports, but just in the world in general, like with the whole like the Eric Garner, I think his name was. I didn't even see the video. I don't care about the whole situation, but like, just there's video of everything. There's proof of everything. Like this happens 5-10 years ago. That's not even a news because you never heard of it. You never heard of it.
That's why you don't hear about the ones that do happen. They say, well, how come Al Sharpton's not down at this one in Cleveland because there's no video.
Exactly.
There's no proof it really happened. If it did, it's all hearsay. It's not newsworthy. And it's
also too, when you
doesn't
look at
give you
stuff, it's all interpretation too.
What if the video is what? If there's no video, there's no recording, there's no crime to talk about. That crime has to be proven by witnesses in a court of law. When you had videos, like you had Ray Rice and Gardner, and even in you go back to the Trayvon Martin, where they had audio.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Without the audio and Trayvon Martin, you're not even talking about it. It's all hearsay. You got to go to court to prove it.
You know what's funny is that in all three of the things you just mentioned, the people who did the wrong thing got off.
Right.
And we're talking about how you video this. And they all got it.
I'm not choosing sides or anything, but never mind. I'll shut up. It's better that I shut up.
Yeah, well, it's all in all, it goes back to the camera. Just like I said in sports, the lenses are everywhere. Yeah, there's no privacy, and it also creates control. And in sports, the camera is now starting to control the game. Okay, instant replay is now starting to control the outcomes of games. Baseball, football, basketball. It's all going to become a point now to where it's all video, and you can't do anything wrong in every play. The referee is just a guy out there like a maestro.
Yeah, but that's one of those. That's one of those.
He's Michael Barkan or Chris Berman.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's one of those like damned if you do, damned if you don't situations. Because if you don't have that, and there's a big call gets missed, you're like, all the technology, why can't we review these things?
Right.
But then when we do have it, it's this is ruining the sanctity of the game with the reviews.
You know what?
You can't win either way.
You can't win, but what happens is it can't go backwards. That's the killer of it.
No, you can't take it away. Once you put replay, you can't take it away.
You can only add. It only adds to it because it's always what if that way. Now that can't be called. So now you're coming down the NFL, like we were talking about with the hits. Now it's going to be to a point to where you're going to have everything replayed. The whole game is going to be nothing but a replay because every play is going to be replayed. Every snap's going to be replayed, regardless. Just because it's going to be like that. So every play can be challenged.
It already is. It's just not challenged yet.
I understand that. Yeah, but I mean, to be able to stop the game and flow the game, that's what's happening here. I mean, you can only sit so long and stare like this at a football game, waiting for the next play to happen. And you got to, and then you look at a Chip Kelly who's got plays running over, and that's good because at least the penalties are getting called. This guy's still running plays. It's not like you're going back to the 30-second huddles of the old days, which I think is pretty much gone from the NFL right now. Quietly, it's everybody about Chip Kelly's fast offense. Well, start looking around. The rest of the New England Patriots are running a lot of plays.
Well, I think that and huddles may be gone, yes, but you'll still see guys go to the line, and they're still taking that clock down to 1. Yeah. It's just because they're at the line doing this, calling this. Oh, this guy's there.
Yeah, but that's good. That's part of your play calling. I mean, that's being
you don't want that. You don't want the other guys to take that opportunity to get off the field, and that's why you're doing it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's it. So the time of the game isn't really being affected because you're still taking that play clock to 1.
Right.
But it's just instead of huddling over here, you're huddling at the line. Pretty much.
Yeah. But it's the amount of plays in the game. I mean, if you still go back to Andy Reid, he's still got the full blown huddle going on.
Andy's Andy.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general. Yeah, he'll just he take his plays go up to the 1 second mark, and that's the guy coming to the line of scrimmage. That's what was McNabb's problem all those years. By the time he got to the line, he still don't have to play in his head. Yeah. So
you're gonna eat that.
What?
This is
Andy.
Oh, he's Andy.
Sorry.
Is that Tony?
Tony.
Who's talking?
Is it Romo?
Tony Romo.
Ghost of Tony Romo.
Ghost of Tony Romo.
There's Vic doing stuff over there. All right. So we got through our 2-hour show. We're sorry about the inconvenience of the first 30 minutes, which was, what a highlight that would have been. Anyway, Cash the King. Check me out there at cashtheking@yahoo.com. If you want to send me an email, go to sportsgoombas.com. Get us on Facebook and Twitter. We do everything everybody else does, just better. We're like the Steve Jobs of sports talk shows.
And we're still alive.
He's still alive. So is he, man. In theory, right here.
Right here.
Yeah. Chef, any parting words for today?
Nope.
Keep it simple.
Good night, farewell. Thanks for all the fish.
Mikey, anything?
Go Jordy Nelson. Need one more catch.
Jordy Nelson. There it is, right there. Turn around. All right, Cash the King. We're out of here. We'll see you next week, same time.
See ya.